Did you know that the Big Wheel BMX movement actually started as a way for retired pro racers to keep riding without destroying their knees on tiny 20-inch frames? It's true. Today, these oversized beasts are the king of the streets, blending the soul of a stunt bike with the comfort of a cruiser. Whether you're looking to wheelie through the city or just want a stylish commute to class, choosing the right oversized BMX can be a total game changer. But with so many brands claiming to be the best, how do you know which one actually handles the heat? All the links are in the description below, so let's dive into the top 6 Big Wheel BMX bikes that are dominating the pavement right now. 6. MEGHNA 26-inch BMX Freestyle Cruiser. The MEGHNA 26-inch BMX bike is a fascinating hybrid that feels like a love letter to the vintage freestyle era, specifically designed for those of us who want that iconic BMX silhouette but need the practicality of a 26-inch wheel for actual travel. When you first hop on this bike, the high carbon steel frame feels incredibly planted, and those unique high-rise handlebars give you a commanding view of the road that you just don't get on a standard mountain bike. It's built primarily for the A to B lifestyle. Think campus commuting, hitting the local coffee shop, or just hanging out in the neighborhood, and it excels in these environments because of its simplicity. One of the most interesting design choices here is the dual braking system. You've got a front caliper brake paired with a rear V-brake, which gives you a bit more nuanced stopping power than a basic coaster brake setup. In real-world testing, it rolls beautifully over flat pavement and can even handle some light, dusty gravel paths without breaking a sweat, though you'll definitely feel the burn in your quads if you try to tackle a massive hill due to the single-speed gearing. If we're comparing this to something like the Highland 26-inch, the MEGHNA definitely wins on the retro-cool aesthetic and price point, making it way more accessible for a student on a budget. However, it's important to be realistic. This isn't the bike you're taking to the X Games. It uses more entry-level components like a one-piece crank, which is perfect for cruising but might not love the impact of a 5-foot drop. The build is solid and sturdy, but that steel construction does add some weight, making it feel more like a tank than a feather. What do you think about the big BMX look for commuting? Do you prefer the retro vibes or something more modern? Let me know in the comments. Ultimately, if you want a low-maintenance, head-turning cruiser that won't break the bank, the MEGHNA is a fantastic entry point into the world of big wheels. It's stylish, durable, and does exactly what it promises. Gets you where you're going with a whole lot of flair. 5. Elite BMX 26-inch and 29-inch Freestyle Series. When you step up to the Elite BMX Freestyle Series, you're moving into a territory that feels much more like a real BMX that just happened to hit a massive growth spurt. While many brands just slap big wheels on a frame and call it a day, Elite has maintained authentic freestyle geometry, meaning the bike actually handles like a stunt machine despite its 26 or 29-inch stature. This bike is a beast for riders who want to do more than just sit in the saddle. It's designed for the person who wants to hop curbs, practice manuals, and maybe even hit some light dirt trails on the way home. The standout feature here is the component jump. On these larger models, you're getting 3-piece chromoly cranks and sealed hubs. If you're new to the lingo, sealed hubs basically means the bearings are protected from grit and grime, so the bike rolls smoother for much longer with way less maintenance. Comparing this to the Mongoose Grudge, the Elite feels significantly more responsive and flickable because of that dedicated freestyle geometry. The high-tensile steel frame is incredibly tough, though, like the MEGHNA, it carries some weight compared to a high-end aluminum or full chromoly frame. However, for the price, the durability you're getting is insane. I've seen these bikes take a beating on city streets and keep on rolling without a wobble in the double-wall rims. One thing to keep in mind is the plastic pedals. They're fine to start, but if you're planning on doing serious tricks, you might want to swap them for something with a bit more bite later on. The ride quality is surprisingly smooth, and the alloy U-brakes provide that predictable snap you need when you're trying to stall or stop on a dime. It's a versatile platform that fits everyone from tall teens to adults who never grew out of their BMX phase. Does a 29-inch BMX sound like overkill to you? Or is the bigger the better your motto? I'd love to hear your take. If you want a bike that bridges the gap between a casual cruiser and a legitimate street machine, Elite has hit the nail on the head with this one. 4. Cubsala Echo 24-inch Beginner BMX. The Cubsala Echo is a bit of a dark horse in the 24-inch category, specifically targeting that in-between age where a 20-inch bike feels too cramped, but a 26-inch feels like steering a ship. This bike is all about providing a stable, confidence-inspiring platform for younger riders or smaller teens who are just starting to dip their toes into the freestyle world. Right out of the box, you can tell Cubsala wanted to provide a pro experience for beginners because they include 4 steel pegs as standard. Most bikes in this price range make you buy those separately, so having them ready to go for grinds is a huge plus. The high-tensile carbon steel frame is built like a brick, which is exactly what you want when a beginner is inevitably dropping the bike while learning new tricks. In actual use, the 2.35-inch wide tires are the stars of the show. They provide a massive contact patch with the ground, making the bike feel incredibly stable and offering a nice bit of cushion when riding over uneven sidewalks or cracks. When you put the Echo up against the Mongoose Rebel, the Echo wins big on the assembly side of things. It comes 85% pre-assembled and includes an actually useful toolkit, which is a lifesaver for parents who aren't master mechanics. Now, because it's a beginner bike, it does use a one-piece crank and unsealed bearings, so it's not meant for the local skate park's professional-level vert ramp, but for neighborhood exploration and learning the basics, it's top tier. The rear U-brake is responsive, though you might need to spend 5 minutes fine-tuning it to get that perfect click feeling. It's a stylish, tough-as-nails option that looks way more expensive than it actually is. Are you a fan of the 24-inch middle ground size? Or do you think riders should just jump straight to 26? Drop a comment and let's chat about it. For any young rider looking for their first real-feeling BMX, the Cubsala Echo is a stellar choice that delivers on both looks and longevity. 3. Dynacraft Tony Hawk Series 18 to 24-inch. There is something undeniably cool about having the name Tony Hawk emblazoned on your down tube, and the Dynacraft Tony Hawk series leans hard into that legendary heritage. This bike is specifically engineered to be the ultimate gateway bike for kids and teens who are obsessed with the idea of BMX but still need something approachable and easy to ride. The primary purpose here is fun and flair, with iconic graphics like the 720 or Aftermath designs. It's usually the coolest looking bike on the block. But it's not just about looks. The inclusion of a 360-degree handlebar rotor, or gyro, is a massive win at this price point. This allows the rider to spin the handlebars completely around without the brake cables getting tangled, which is the first pro trick most kids want to learn. Comparing it to the Mongoose Legion L20, the Tony Hawk series is much lighter on the wallet and feels a bit more user-friendly for a total novice, even if the Mongoose offers slightly beefier components like a 3-piece crank. In real-life scenarios, this bike is the king of the sidewalk. It's light enough to be maneuvered easily by younger riders, but sturdy enough to handle basic manuals and small hops over curbs. The alloy caliper brakes are simple to maintain, though they don't have the same raw stopping power as a high-end U-brake, so they're better suited for neighborhood cruising than aggressive park sessions. The assembly is famously easy, which is a huge relief for anyone who has ever struggled with a bike in a box on a Saturday morning. While the stock tires are great for smooth pavement, they might wear down a bit faster if you're constantly skidding or riding on sharp gravel, so keep that in mind. Do you think celebrity-branded bikes live up to the hype, or are they just about the name? I'm curious to see what you guys think. Ultimately, if you're looking for a gift that will get a young rider stoked on cycling, the Dynacraft Tony Hawk series is a high-value, high-style winner. 2. Elite BMX Freestyle, the premium, 26 inches. We're back to Elite for the number 2 spot, but this specific model is a step up in the hierarchy, often referred to as their more premium configuration because it doubles down on the heavy-duty hardware. The biggest selling point here, and honestly, the reason it's so high on the list, is that every single size, including the 26-inch, comes standard with a reinforced 3-piece chromoly crankset. For the uninitiated, 3-piece cranks are the gold standard for BMX. They are significantly stronger, provide better power transfer, and won't bend nearly as easily as the cheaper 1-piece versions. This makes the bike a legitimate contender for heavier adult riders who want to actually use their big BMX for more than just a slow roll to the park. The build quality is further elevated by a sealed bearing rear hub, which means the wheels spin more freely and you won't have to worry about cleaning out dirt after every ride. When you compare this Elite model to the Mongoose Legion series, you're often getting a more complete package for the money, including a set of grind pegs right in the box. In practice, the 26-inch version of this bike is a dream for urban commuting. It handles curbs and potholes like they aren't even there, and the reinforced gussets on the frame give you the peace of mind that it can handle some aggressive commuting. The seat is a bit on the narrow side, which is standard for freestyle bikes to allow for more leg movement. But if you're planning on 10-mile cruises, you might want to swap it for something wider. The high-tensile steel frame is very durable, though it does keep the bike on the heavier side of the spectrum. Is a 3-piece crank a must-have for you when bike shopping, or do you not really mind? Let me know. This bike is the perfect choice for the rider who wants a mid-level price but pro-level durability in a big wheel package. 1. Cubsala Trident BMX Race/Freestyle Hybrid. Taking the top spot is the Cubsala Trident, and for good reason. It is one of the most versatile big BMX bikes on the market today because it successfully merges two different worlds. Most bikes are either race or freestyle, but the Trident adopts a hybrid approach that makes it the ultimate all-rounder. It features a race-inspired geometry that is built for speed and rapid acceleration, but it keeps the toughness of a freestyle bike by using a high-tensile carbon steel frame. What makes this the #1 pick is the versatility. It's one of the few bikes that looks just as natural on a paved pump track or a dirt circuit as it does at the local skate park. It comes equipped with a linear pull V-brake on the rear, which offers incredible, precise stopping power, much more than your average freestyle U-brake, which is essential when you're flying through a race course or navigating traffic. Despite its race DNA, Cubsala still includes 2 steel pegs, allowing you to experiment with grinds and stalls whenever the mood strikes. When compared to a dedicated racer like the Mongoose Title, the Trident is much more forgiving and multi-purpose, whereas the Title is a bit too specialized for casual street riding. The 2.1-inch tires offer a perfect balance. They have low rolling resistance for speed, but enough grip to keep you glued to the pavement in a sharp turn. Like other Cubsala models, it arrives 85% pre-assembled with a great toolkit, making the setup a breeze. While the 1-piece crank is its only entry-level drawback, the overall performance and adaptability of the frame more than make up for it. This is the bike for the rider who doesn't want to be put in a box. One day you're racing, the next you're cruising, and the Trident handles both with ease. What's your favorite style of riding? Racing, street, or just casual cruising? Tell me in the comments. If you want the best first step bike that can do it all, the Cubsala Trident is the undisputed champion. And there you have it, the best big wheel BMX bikes to keep you rolling in style. Whether you're after the raw durability of the Elite or the versatile speed of the Cubsala Trident, there's a big wheel out there with your name on it. If this breakdown helped you figure out your next ride, do me a huge favor and smash that like button and hit subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive into the world of cycling. All the links are in the description below if you want to check the current prices or grab one for yourself. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you out on the streets.